guys, so this is my October book review, but I'm actually filming it in the middle of October, so this is going to be a little bit different style. Next time you see me in this video, I'll be probably wearing different clothes. And the reason for that is I try to get my books at the library so they are free, and these books are due, to be quite honest. So I still want to do these videos, but I'll probably be just updating these instead of having a full wrap up at the end of the month. So that's that. So I just want to start off by talking about this first book that I've read. It's called I Know My Name by C.J. Cook, and this is a thriller kind of, honestly, this is an intense book. So I started reading this, I think 2 weeks ago on a Friday night, and I had to, I read really late and I had to stop because I knew I was going to get scary dreams and I couldn't finish it. It gets intense. So basically what this book is there is this woman who had an accident, woke up on a very tiny island, very remote island, off the coast of Greece. And there are, I think, 4 other people with her, and she has total no memory about it. And so that's all I'll say about it, because I don't want to ruin too much of the plot. But this is a good book. I could not read it at night. So I told you I started it on Friday, and then I had to finish it during the day on Saturday, way before I went to bed, because it got a little scary. It's not creepy, it's not gross, it's just a very suspenseful thriller, and I would recommend this book if you could handle a suspenseful thriller. So I really liked it. 5 out of 5 stars. On a completely different note, I also finished, actually this past weekend, My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. I don't know how to say this last name. I'm so sorry about that. I love this book. So basically what this book is about this, the main character, Katie. She is a 26-year-old, and she's just trying to follow her dreams, living in London, go up the corporate ladder, and what she presents her life on Instagram is much different than her reality. And it kind of just shows her learning how to live life as a 26-year-old and trying to balance family and everything. This book is so heartwarming, so funny, and I was reading it, it seems very cinematic. I guess the best way I could describe this book is, the fun 90s, early 2000s, romantic comedies. This is reading a romantic comedy. So, very lighthearted, very fun, very heartwarming. I could not recommend this book higher. And then I realized, because as I was reading this book, I told my husband Eric, I was telling him, I was I feel like I'm reading a movie. Not a script, but just the way that she writes is so visual that you feel like you can see the person, no problem. You could just see everything in your mind, and it's painted so well in the way that it's written. And then I realized, I flipped to the beginning of the book, and some of her other books she wrote is Confessions of a Shopaholic. I didn't read that book. I haven't read anything by her, but I've seen that movie. So far, this is the second book I've read this month, and 5 stars. Both of these books I would recommend. Totally different, but still great. Okay. Alright, so here is the next installment of my October book review. I went through a little bit of a phase where I wasn't reading as much, but part of Halloween, I don't know, I just got the reading bug, and so I grabbed a book. I grabbed a book on my Kindle. So this book that I read is Fairest of All by Serena Valentino. This is actually part of the Disney Publishing book company that they have. And what essentially this is a book among a series that's telling the kind of the famous story, the classic Disney stories from the perspective of the villain. So this one is from the perspective of the evil queen in the Snow White story. And it was, so I think part of the problem I had with this is I really liked Once Upon a Time. I didn't finish the series. Like, I think I went all the way up to the last season and I couldn't finish the series. But I think the problem with that is I really liked how Once Upon a Time really developed the characters. And the problem with this was that it was lacking some depth in areas. So specifically, so basically, the evil queen doesn't start off evil in the story. So she starts off as good and then an event happens and she switches to be evil. But that jump was a little bit too extreme for me as a reader to follow or to make it completely believable. Like, the total extreme that she has didn't really make 100% sense because they didn't take the time in that area to really develop her process of change. Like, I think they did a pretty good job in the beginning establishing her as like a nice, sweet, kind person, and then towards the end she definitely did some evil stuff which followed the movie. But it was the in-between part that was a little bit difficult. That was a part that I was really interested in, and I just felt like I needed more. Like, I just needed more. Still, it was a fine book. I wasn't like, I wouldn't recommend this. No, I would recommend this if you're really into Snow White character, or if you just need a really easy read. I think this took me like 2 hours to read. I just flew through this at the end of one of the work days. I was surprised at how fast I was able to read. And it was engaging all the way through. I wasn't bored at all. But there were some problems. I would probably rate this like a 3 out of 5 for the books. Probably one of my least favorites that I read this month. But as a Disney fan, it's kind of hard to have like a real problem with any of these books. I don't think they did anything to like sully or tarnish the original Snow White movie. I think it kept pretty much to the storyline. But it was just, you know what, for 2 hours, I was entertained for 2 hours. So that's a good thing. I think I'm probably going to, I might try to read some of the other books. Another great thing about this book is it was free, which I think helped with me liking it a little bit more. If I had to pay a lot of money for, like, if I had to pay $10 or something, I'd be like, I don't know. Like, $10 for 2 hours, I guess that's like seeing a movie. But this was free with Amazon Prime Reading, I believe they call it. Amazon Prime has so many things, so who knows. Yeah, but that is it for my October book review. I really think that the two books I read about the thriller, about the woman who has amnesia, and then the like fun Instagram life person, I can't even remember their names. I think those are the two stories I still remember, and I would recommend this one if you need something fast or possibly for a younger reader because it was really easy. I would recommend. Yeah, so hopefully November I will get some more reading, and I will see you guys next month.